This is the 1500, the Epson 1500 A3 Plus printer, dye-based printer, excellent machine, and we're going to show you how we install a continuous ink system. Now with this printer we've got very good quality professional standard inks. I would recommend the Lyson ink for this printer, the Lyson Photonic XG, if you're doing high-end photographic work with this. Fabulous for colour. If you want good overall economy and acceptable colour, I think you'd go with the Marrutt brand ink, which again is a good quality photographic dye-based ink. If I want the ultimate in quality for colour, I think on this particular printer I would go with the Lyson Photonic ink. So let's demonstrate this machine with this Lyson ink. First thing we need to do is we need to take off the lid, and the way to do this is we press the ink change button. That moves it to the ink change position. We'll now take off the mains from the back of the printer. That allows us to move the carriage from left and right, and quite simply what we do is we get our screwdriver in the side here and we wedge that side off, and on the other side again we've got a little clip here that we have to wedge off as well, and it just about comes away, as you see. If you do break the edge, retain the clip and just glue it back on, but you should be fine, and that enables you to take off the lid to this printer. So let's bring the light over so you can actually see what's going on. So let's show you here. There's a tiny little retainer that you just need to turn your screwdriver so that you can actually unclip this lid, and you do the same on the other side. Keep hold of that lid just in case for later. Now in with the CIS system you get the reservoir, which is an 8-channel reservoir. Now when we're topping up, we'll take out these little bungs, and when we finish topping up we would put the breathers into here. So you get a set of reservoirs, 6 reservoirs, and you also get completely assembled. You don't have to do any work. You've got your tubing, and you've got the clip, and you've got our special ski jump bracket, which nicely sets the position of the tubing. And here are your cartridges, and we'll just go through briefly how we actually put the ink into the reservoirs and how we pull it through. So I won't actually pour the ink, but for the purposes of this demonstration, let's imagine now we've got the black ink here, and what we'll do is we'll take out the black bung. In with the kit, I'm actually referring the back here. I've got a nice tub of bits and pieces that gets supplied with your kit. You've got the full instructions, and you've got the CD that comes with the kit, and inside the plastic bag we've got all our bits and pieces that we need, and one of these bits and pieces is one of our funnels, and then we take off the top and we'd pierce the foil lid to our ink. I won't pierce it this time, but you'd pierce the foil lid, and you'd pour in your ink quite slowly. Pour your ink in, and you'd top up all of the 6 reservoirs here. Depending on how much ink you're buying, you'll either top it up to about half level, or if you've got 125mm, you can probably top it up just to about 1/2 inch from the top and keep the remainder. So if you can imagine that all of these reservoirs would be pretty well full of ink at this particular stage, and we can actually put in the little breather caps. Now these breather caps enable the ink levels to run down without allowing any dust into the ink, and dust is the enemy of inkjet printing, as I've pointed out previously. So we've got another little spinning top, we call them, but actually they're just a little valve with a cloth membrane in there. Whoops, let's put that in the right way. There we are. So imagine that's full up with ink now. Light magenta, we've got cyan in this chamber, yellow here, black here, and light cyan on this one. So we put this off to one side, and now we'll show you the cartridges. Now imagine that these tubes are connected to the system and to the reservoirs, and the reservoirs are full of ink. What we need to do now is we need to pull the ink through prior to actually installing their cartridges into the printer. So we've got these little, let's come up closer to the lens. We've got these little they're little silicon bungs on the top of each cartridge, and we use a flat bladed screwdriver just to take the bung out. So let's show you the little bung, and let's put the bung there for safekeeping. The kit comes complete with with these cartridges, and what we do is we pull through the ink through the cartridges like this until the ink it actually comes up the tube and goes into the cartridges like so. What we then do is, once the ink has raised right up into the cartridge, we close off the tube like so, and then we carry on with the next one and so on until all the cartridges are full up. All we then have to do, so imagine that these cartridges now are full of ink. What we now do is we move the carriage across. We can now put the cartridge up underneath the bridge piece, bring it back up. We can move the carriage back. We can place the cartridges into the printer. Now it's really important to push down hard on each of the cartridges, and I'm pushing down pretty hard until I can actually feel each cartridge has clipped in. Now these little tabs here, it's very important that the tabs are nicely clipped in. So once they're all clipped in, what we then do is we can actually place our ski jump bracket over the side here. So we'll actually take the self-adhesive and put that down. Now it's not a bad idea. This I know to be absolutely dry, but we provide an alcohol wipe. Now if you've got any doubt that your printer might be a little bit older, you can take that alcohol wipe out, you wipe it across the plastic piece, and then dry it with a bit of dry tissue paper or a bit of dry kitchen towel, just to make sure it's absolutely grease free. And then you put your adhesive down so, and you do the same on this side. So if this is a brand new printer, but if it was anything other than a brand new printer, I think you'd wipe this area down with some alcohol and then wipe it down with a dry piece of kitchen towel, and then you can actually apply. Let's take this off, apply that. And now what we want to do is we want to set the position. So we're going to push the carriage right across to the end, right across to the end, and make sure that can you see it's taken up quite a nice fairly taut arrangement. You don't want it too slack, and if you want to adjust it, you can actually pull this up or down. And to actually adjust these clips, you can press this, open this up and click it back. And the same with this one. You can press that down and click it back. You can bring that back, and then we're all ready now to start moving. You can you can put your mains back in the printer at the back there. Press the ink change button. It will go to the extreme right hand side, and all your lights will extinguish. When you're using the printer, occasionally a light will come on across the top here. If that happens, all you do is you press the ink change button. It moves the carriage across to the ink change position. We've got a little, let's show you here. Let's get this out of the way so you can actually see. We've actually got a little reset switch here, which you squeeze gently between your finger and thumb for 5 seconds. You release that, press the ink change button again. The carriage goes back to the right hand side, and all the lights go out, and you can carry on printing. But the last two things I need to talk about is you need to put a little rubber bumper on either side so that the lid doesn't come all the way down. That allows the lid to take up the right position. And the other, the final little thing, which will involve moving the camera across a little bit. No, it won't. No, I think we will move it across a little bit. Let's move it across there. Is this little tubing here, which we fold and we put into our slot, and we push the little. There's a little lever at the back here inside that slot, and we're pushing the lever to the back, and that indicates to the printer that this little switch, it's a little micro switch there on a lever. It keeps the lever at the back there, and it allows us to run the printer successfully with the lid slightly open. And this is your finished installation, nice and neat. And we put the reservoir by the side of the printer, and make sure that the height of the reservoir is correct. So we always make sure that the reservoir sits on the same height as the printer itself. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching.